My job is not to tell the president what he wants to hear. My job is to tell him the truth, whether he likes it or not. That is what our nation's leaders and the American people should expect Central Intelligence Service to do. You should expect us to conduct operations and help protect American lives here and overseas, and to do so in keeping with our laws. We should not have to choose between our safety and our values. That must be the fundamental rule as to how you achieve national security in a free society. You should expect us at the CIA to live by that rule. You should expect us to support our men and women in uniform, deploying to the field alongside the military, as we do, so that our war fighters have the information they need in order to prevail. You should expect us not only to know today's threats, but identify emerging dangers and opportunities. It is the duty of the CIA, perhaps more than any other agency, to minimize the risk of surprise. Ultimately, the CIA will be judged, and our value to the United States will be measured by our success in delivering on the expectations I just outlined. We strive to meet those expectations by bringing powerful and unique capabilities to our defense. We deploy case officers throughout the world to find secrets that the United States can get no other way. We build and deploy technical tools that provide clandestine access to essential information. We provide independent, all-source analysis of a full range of national security issues, both tactical and strategic. All of the intelligence we gather, by human intelligence, by technical intelligence, means very little if we don't combine it with the analysis of what that information means. And we conduct covert action at the direction of the President. Here our mission moves beyond just acquiring information to taking action. And we do it in a way that represents the kind of covert action that every president has used since Harry Truman. These core tasks, each of them central to the CIA's mission since its founding, are performed by our clandestine service officers, by our analysts, by our scientists, by our technicians, and they're enabled by an infrastructure and a professional support staff that is without comparison in the intelligence community. Nearly half of the officers at the CIA are in what we call the Directorate of Support. That part of the agencies that builds the facilities out of scratch in the Afghan mountains, that keeps our computers secure and our people safe and healthy. It's quite an operation. My responsibility as director is to ensure that the agency's talented people and robust capabilities are responding to the needs, the intelligence needs of the nation. And that we are responding with honesty and with integrity and with accuracy. My goal is to bring the CIA, in a word, into the 21st century with a workforce that reflects the nation we serve and the world we live in. Let me tell you about what we're doing in some of the high priority areas. There are 4 areas I want to discuss: counterterrorism, counterproliferation, cybersecurity, and the global arena in terms of our target responsibilities. On counterterrorism, this is the priority role that we are involved with. The President has made very clear that job 1 is to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat al-Qaeda and their extremist allies. Working closely with our allies throughout the world, the United States has made, I believe, significant progress against this very dangerous enemy. In the tribal areas of Pakistan, al-Qaeda's senior leaders are under tremendous pressure. Top-ranking terrorists, rank-and-file militants have been taken off the battlefield in rapid succession. The aggressive campaign that began last year, we believe, is disrupting al-Qaeda's operations and their training, making it more difficult for these groups to raise the money to plot attacks and to plan for the future. The combination of these operations, plus now the boots on the ground, the fact that the Pakistani military is moving into the Fatah, the tribal areas where these terrorists and where al-Qaeda are located, provides a very important 1-2 punch that is critical to disrupting al-Qaeda's ability to conduct effective operations. As successful as our efforts have been in the Afghan-Pakistan border, the CIA cannot be satisfied. It is not enough simply to disrupt the danger emanating from the tribal areas today. We have got to anticipate that al-Qaeda, their next move will be to find other safe havens. And our challenge is to block its flight to those safe havens. The agency has sharpened its focus on places where al-Qaeda will run to regroup, and they usually move to failed states. We are looking at Somalia, at Yemen, North Africa, areas in Southeast Asia. We have to be ready if the enemy shifts major resources to these areas and to these safe havens. This is not about simply monitoring the process. This is about interdicting it and blocking their ability to find other areas that they can operate from. As I said, the agency's job is not only about the present, it has to be about the future. Unless we stay one step ahead, we are not fully accomplishing our mission. We take the same approach to our work in Iraq and Afghanistan. CIA officers have been fighting al-Qaeda and its allies in Afghanistan since September of 2001. Today, we are expanding operations in the field and adding staff at headquarters. More officers from every part of the agency are now being deployed to that country. The mission, as laid out by the President, is to help stabilize Afghanistan so that it never becomes a safe haven for al-Qaeda. No matter how U.S. policy there evolves, the CIA will be very close to the center of that effort. And the reason is clear. You can't make good policy unless you understand the people, the situation on the ground, the tribes, the districts, the history, the culture, the politics of this tortured nation. And that's largely the job of the CIA. In Iraq, too, our officers are making a difference during this critical transition period. CIA is now planning for a post-war footprint in that country. We will have to do our job under vastly different circumstances than in the past 6 years. As the military draws down, there will be no corresponding drawdown in the demand for intelligence. Policymakers will continue to rely on the CIA to collect information, to assess and understand the remaining threats to Iraq's long-term peace and stability. General Odierno, Prime Minister Maliki, the leadership there has said we need to have this intelligence more now than ever as our military draws down. The second area I wanted to talk about is counterproliferation. Helping to stop the deadly spread of weapons is another top priority for the CIA. The demand for intelligence is very high as policymakers and diplomats grapple with how we respond to the nuclear programs, particularly in Iran and North Korea. Some excellent intelligence work made possible the President's public disclosure last month that Iran was building an undeclared uranium enrichment plant. This is the kind of intelligence success that usually is never heard about. But in this instance, it established the fact that we had gathered the intelligence on this facility over a period of time, working with our allies, working with our foreign partners. We knew what Iran was up to. We presented that case to our policymakers. They asked that we prepare a briefing on this to be ready in the event that this issue would be disclosed. And when it appeared that it would be disclosed,